What's going on YouTube? Chase here on Aftershock Videos, and welcome to another episode of Dueling Nexus Duels. Now today's going to be very different because instead of being prepared and knowing exactly what I'm doing with these deck profiles, this one I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to try to make it as broken and competitive as possible. I have never played Solfachords. I have never even really played Pendulum, which this is going to be a whole learning curve for me, so anybody else who's in the same boat with me, we're going to learn this together. And I just think they might be good, they might be bad. I mean, they seem to have some sort of consistency, so we're going to go ahead and put that in Dueling Nexus. But first, I would like to say, got my first trial Aftershock Videos merch. And I will say, at the very end of the video, for one lucky subscriber, just mention what your favorite deck profile is and why. Be a subscriber and like the video, and I will pick one random commenter, and I will throw in a free extra t-shirt. It is a medium, so keep that in mind if you want it. And if you guys like them, I will get more, and we can go on from there. And also, I have another surprise at the end of the video for any of the subscribers. So, without further ado, let's get into the deck building. Okay, so here we are in Dueling Nexus, and I think I conjured up something pretty good. So, let's go ahead and run through the deck profile. We have two Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. It's a Pendulum level 4, and I believe it's a level 8, with 2800 attack, 2800 defense. And its Pendulum effect is if you have no cards in your other Pendulum zones, you can destroy this card, and if you do, add one level lower Mythical Beast effect monster, but we're not using that one. So the monster effect, though, is every time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card. When that card resolves, cannot be destroyed by card effects while 4 or more spell counters are on the field, or on your field. Once per turn, you can remove 4 spell counters from this field, then target one monster your opponent controls, banish it face up, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that banished monster's attack, which is phenomenal. And next we have 2 Solfachord Kulia. She is a Pendulum level 1, or scale 1, I guess. I don't know the correct terms of the Pendulum, so I'm just going to make this as quick as possible. So we got Solfachord Kulia. Her Pendulum effect is your opponent cannot activate a spell or trap card or monster effect when your Solfachord Pendulum monsters is Pendulum summoned, so that's pretty good protection upon summoning. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing 2 Pendulum monsters. You can only use each of these following effects once per turn. You can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, or up to 2 cards you have in your... If you have an odd Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, negate its effect until the end of your opponent's turn. When an effect of a monster on the field is activated with an equal or lower attack than the highest Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone times 300, destroy that monster. It seems a little specific, but you got to cover all your bases. So we got two Kulias. Next we have Solfachord Beauticia. Hope I said that right. 2500 attack, 2400 defense, Pendulum scale of 2. Pendulum effect, your opponent can activate. Okay, same effect. Monster effect, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, or if you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, you can target 1 face-up spell or trap your opponent controls this turn. Banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster with an equal or higher attack than the lowest Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone times 300, destroy that monster. Again, pretty to the point, but again, covering all the bases, and then banish a trap, or it just depends. It depends on which deck you're going against. So we have 2 of those, right? That's the Beauticia. Okay. Then we have 1 Supreme Gate 0. Pendulum Zone 0. The monster effect. Once per turn, you can target 1 other face-up card you control, destroy both it and this card, and if you do, special summon 1 Dragon-type Fusion or Synchro monster from your extra deck, but its attack and defense becomes 0. Also has effects negated. Also, it cannot be used as material for Synchro or XYZ summon. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place this card in your Pendulum zone. So it's just another body on the field if you got your Pendulum scale, on. So next we have 2 Mythical Beast Jackal Kings, 2400 attack, 1400 defense, with a Pendulum scale of 4. If you have no cards in your Pendulum zones, okay, the Mythical Beast effect, it's not relevant in this one. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card when that spell resolves. Once per turn. A quick effect, you can remove 2 spell counters from your field, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it, which is awesome, and it's a big body on the field or in the Pendulum Zone. It just depends on how you're able to play it. So we got 2 of those. Next we have 2 Solfachord Angelia? Let's go with that. Pendulum scale of 3, 2300 attack, 1400 defense. Same effect as the rest of the Solfachords. Your opponent cannot activate spells or trap cards or monster effects when your Solfachords are pendulum summoned. So, monster effect, while you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if your pendulum monsters attack, your opponent cannot specifically your Solfachord pendulum monsters, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step, which is very helpful. During your main phase, you contribute 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster, even if it's face down, and if you do, special summon 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck whose pendulum scale is 2 or higher or 2 lower, which is awesome, except for itself. So that's I think you're starting to see the synergy with these pretty well. Next, we have 3 Solfachord Gracia, and let's move this over here. Same summoning effects, 2100 attack, 1400 defense, and pendulum scale of 4. While you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, cannot activate monster effects with the Solfachords when they attack during the damage step. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Solfachord spell trap from your deck to your hand. So that is good searching. Next we have 3 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. It is a level 4 with a pendulum scale of 5, 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Let's see what the pendulum effect is. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can place 1 Supreme King Gate pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. So, okay, so again, I'm learning all this with you guys. So the Supreme Gate 0 can get added from your deck to, I believe it was a pendulum zone, right? That's what it said? Yeah, so that'd be great if you have a level 8 on one side and a 0 on one side. That'll synergize well with that. If this card is normal or special summoned, what was the first effect? Also, you cannot pendulum summon monsters for this turn except for dark. Pretty specific, but don't really use that. I wouldn't really use that effect. So, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Supreme King Gate pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have 3 of the Solfachord Fantia. Level 4, pendulum scale of 5, 1600 attack, 400 defense, pendulum effect. Pendulum summons of your Solfachord pendulum monsters cannot be negated, which is awesome. While you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if your Solfachord pendulum monsters would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy this card instead, so it's good protection. During your main phase, you can add 1 Solfachord pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up, except itself. It helps you get a special summon, so that's pretty cool. Okay, then we have 1 Servant of Endymion. How do we say that? Endymion. Let's go. Yeah, sure. It's a level 3. Pendulum scale of 2, 900 attack, 1500 defense. Pendulum scale effect. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, you can remove 3 counters from this card. Special summon both this card from your pendulum zone and 1 monster from your deck with 1000 or more attack that you can place a spell counter on. If you do, place 1 spell counter on each. So that will go good with the mythical beast Jackal King, and there was one other one. It was the other mythical beast. So that'll synergize well with that. And then you can remove 3 spell counters from this card. Special summon both this card and 1 of your pendulum monsters from your deck with 1000 or more attack. Then you can place a counter on it. If you do, place 1 spell counter on each. Monster effect, you can only special summon Servants of Endymion once per turn. This card with a spell counter can attack directly. So that's, I mean, not much, but it's something. Once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard 1 card, place 1 spell counter on each card you control that you can place a spell counter on. If this card in your monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Then place the same number of spell counters on it, and you can place this card in your pendulum zone, then place the same number of spell counters on it that it had as a monster. So gets to keep it in case you want to special summon it again from the extra deck. So that's awesome. Next we have 3 Solfachord Dreamia. And that's Pendulum Scale 7. It's a level 2. 600 attack, 400 defense. Pendulum effect. Pendulum monsters, your Solfachord pendulum monsters cannot be gated. The summons. Monster effect, while you have an odd pendulum scale, if a Solfachord pendulum monster or monsters you control will be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead of one of those cards. If you control a Solfachord card in your pendulum zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. So, easy body on the field. Next, we have Triple Diviner of the Herald. And in case you don't already know what this is, we have 500 attack, 300 defense. It's a level 2 tuner, and it's a fairy light monster. If this card is normal or special summon, you could send 1 fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, increase this card's level by that much until the end of this turn. If this card is tributed, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower fairy monster from your hand or deck, except itself. That's pretty cool. Next we have Triple Solfachord Cutia, whatever. Level 1, Pendulum Scale of 8, 100 attack, 400 defense. And it's a fairy earth. Pendulum summons of your Solfachord monsters cannot be negated. Pendulum effect, monster effect, while you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, Solfachord pendulum monsters you control gain attack equal to 100 times their own pendulum scale. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Solfachord pendulum monster from your deck to your hand except itself. And you can only use it once per turn, which is awesome. Next we have 1 for 1, the Solfachord Elegance. It doesn't say it's OCG, which is weird because this came out already in the TCG and it says OCG. This one shows a pic. Who knows how this works in Dueling Nexus. But anyways, Solfachord Elegance, activate one of these effects. Place 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. Broken. Add 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up. Then place 2 Solfachord Pendulum monsters, 1 odd and 1 even. 1 odd and 1 even pendulum scale from your deck in your Pendulum Zones. Also broken. Add 2 cards, 1 odd, 1 even pendulum scale from your Pendulum Zones to the extra deck, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So, and it's got a built-in Pot of Greed. This card is so broken. That's why there's 3 of them. Now, since we are running a couple dragons, we got Dragon Shrine here. If anybody who doesn't know what Dragon Shrine does, it sends 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if that monster in your graveyard is a dragon normal monster, you can send 1 or more dragon monsters to the graveyard. So, we're basically just getting this for the get in the graveyard. Says that this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So, that'll help in a pinch. 1 Foolish Burial to help put it there. Then we have 2 Solfachord Harmonia. He says you can activate one of these effects. Add 1 face-up Solfachord Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Increase your pendulum scale of 1 Solfachord card in your Pendulum Zone by its level this turn. If you control no Solfachord pendulum monsters with at least 3 different even pendulum scales or 3 different odd pendulum scales, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Pretty nice. And then we have the 1 trap card, which is the Solfachord Formal. Now this one says when you have a Solfachord card or cards in your Pendulum Zones, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or monster effect, shuffle 1 face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck into the deck. Then apply these effects. Pendulum monsters you control are unaffected by that effect. Cards in your Pendulum Zone cannot be destroyed by that effect. Cards in your Pendulum Zone cannot be banished by that effect. So it protects pretty much your back row. Let's just call it that. Now moving on to the extra deck for our Fusion Dragon, we have Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. We also have Borreload Savage Dragon. Ignister of Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. Formula Synchron. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, which is a Link 5, which I had never seen this card before till today. This is a Link 5, 3,000 attack. It says you can also use 1 monster your opponent controls as material to link summon this card. How cool is that? If this card is link summon, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. Awesome. This link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Awesome, unless they target this card. Well, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard, quick effect, negate that activation. That is a pretty cool card. Now we also have Access Code Talker. We got the Appaloosa, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix. This one is Grand Solfachord Musicia? Whatever. It's a Link 2, 900 attack, Light Fairy. 2 Pendulum monsters. During your main phase, you can add 1 Pendulum monster from your hand to the extra deck face up, and if you do, add 1 face up Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So you can make swapsies. Excuse me. We got the Halka-Fibrax, Puzzlemino, the drop-in deleter. Haven't used this card yet, but it's a Link 2, Spellcaster Light. If a monster is special summoned face up to a zone this card points to, while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can declare a level from 1 to 8. That monster becomes that level until the end of this turn. You can target two monsters with the same level, 1 from each field, destroy them. You can use each of the effects once per turn. So, in a certain scenario, this card could be awesome. And of course, we got 1 IP Masquerena and 1 Cross Sheep. Alright guys, so that'll do it with the deck profile. Let's go ahead and get into the dueling. Alright, so here we are in the Dueling Nexus Duels. We're going to go ahead and try against a bye. We don't think we're going to be wanting to keep somebody really patiently waiting for us to kind of go through this. So let's go ahead and get the Solfachord and ready up. So again, remember guys, we're learning this together. This is a bonding experience between us. So bear with me and let's see how this plays. So let's go ahead and go with rock. All right, let's go with scissors. Weird. Let's go with paper. Yeah, whatever. So we'll find out how it's like going second. Okay, so we drew the Fancia, the Ediman, the Solfachord Elegance, Dragon Shrine, and Solfachord Beauticia. Okay, well this is weird. So he has out 2 back row and a number 41, Baguska, the Terribly Tired Taper. On this one, doesn't look like it has a quick effect. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card if you cannot destroy it. Okay, so while this card is in face-up defense position, change all face-up monsters on the field to defense position. Also negate. Okay. So the quickest way I could think of doing that is getting that one... What was it? Yeah, let's try to get the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Maybe we can even use it to summon it. So let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's go Dragon Shrine. Let's dump the Dark Worm. Now we can special summon it. I guess not, but there goes your life points. Okay. Activate that. Let's see what we can do. There's a level 5, 2, 2, 5. So that means we can do 3. So let's go and activate this Elegance. Place 2 in your Pendulum zones. Okay, let's do 5. Or Pendulum Deck. So this is a 3, 0, 1. There's a 1. Let's do 1. And let's try and go all the way up to, let's do a 7. Let's do odd. Do we have an odd? No, we do not. So let's go 8. Okay. Now it's special summon. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they're going to be put in defense anyways, so let's go ahead and put them in defense. Okay, do I want to activate Supreme King in the monster zone? If this card is normal special summon, you can add, sure. And I don't know what this effect is, so no. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay, so can we get the... There it is, okay. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. Let's battle. 3,000 right to the dome. Main phase 2. Do we have anything? No. Okay. Go ahead and end our phase. Let's see where they go from here. Well, this looks like it might be an easy battle. I'm guessing was this a Lightsworn deck? Got that, and then a Mass Chameleon. And this card is normal summon. Change one monster's target. Oh, it's unaffected. Mine's unaffected by card effects. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this. Special summon from the hand. This one. At this point, I'm just kind of going with it. Put them on attack. Okay, so now we have Solfachord's effect. And let's see. Okay. You can target one effect monster your opponent controls, or if you have an even pendulum scale, you can target one face up, banish it. Once per turn at the start of the damage step. Let's activate it and see what happens. That didn't do much, but okay. Let's get a Nightmare Phoenix. A little bit stronger. Okay, let's go ahead and battle. Attack with that one. 1400. I think that's game. And nothing. I don't know what was in that back row, but didn't really help. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this episode of Dueling Nexus Duels. The Solfachord seemed to play really well. A lot of searching, a lot of self-protection, and then just a lot of flooding the field, which is awesome. I'm guessing that's how pendulums generally work. So I can't imagine it being much different. But like I said, I played it and we got a win, so we can go ahead and count that. So not much else to say about it. I'm sure there's different things we can do. Let me know what you guys thought about it down below. What would you do differently? What would you put in, take out? What can we do to play this archetype better? So I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I have a Patreon now, which has a lot of cool benefits, which I think is for what the going rate is. I don't think it's that bad. So, and also again, for all the subscribers, I could pick one lucky person to win this free Aftershock video shirt. All you have to do is like the video, comment what your favorite deck is right now, and why. And also, I did say I had one extra special present, special gifts at the end. I'm gonna do this thing for the 50th subscriber. I will throw in this Jinzo from Pharaoh's Servant. It's legit. I sleeved it up as soon as I got it. I'm on this page, Yu-Gi-Oh! On Facebook, and I put it on there, and they seen it. So it is 100% legit, secret rare from Pharaoh's Servant. Obviously not first edition, but I still think it'd be cool. So if you're the 50th subscriber, I will send you a Jinzo as a thank you. Total OG card. A lot of people love this card. I love this card. It's so cool. But I'm going to give it to you as a thank you. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you're looking for any specific cards, feel free to check out my TCG player account, which I will leave a link in the description below. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.